Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Adventure Games podcast. This is Shorter Than Bar, as always. I hope everybody listening or watching is doing well. And I've got a very special guest with me today. It's a little bit different, but I'm really looking forward to this conversation. I am delighted to be joined by Maria Chyrvona. I hope I got more or less right.
That was right.
Woo, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I may have practiced just a little bit before recording.
Yeah.
Well, Maria is here to talk all about a games conference that is happening in Lisbon, Portugal on the 14th and 15th of November 2024 called DevGamm. So we're going to hear all about it. This looks fantastic, and I'm looking forward to going myself, hopefully this year as well. So we'll be hearing more about this. But first of all, hello, Maria. How are you doing?
Hello, Sarsha. Am I
Thank you.
pronouncing
Yes,
it right?
correct as well. So
Yeah,
we
coming
both
from
got each
different.
other's names correct.
Yes, that's a win. That's a good start, I think.
Great
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, you don't need to ask me twice to talk about DevGam because I love what I do. But yeah, basically, we are planning our next Lisbon event. DevGam has a big background, and yeah, I'm so happy and excited to talk about this on your podcast and to your audience and explain a little bit more what's going on behind the curtain of doing the events. Yeah, so let me tell you a bit about myself.
Yes.
I'm Ukrainian. I come from gaming industry. I've been for 11 years in the gaming industry, I think. Yeah, 11 years already. I started with a small mobile gaming publisher and then also started my journey with DevGam. At that point, DevGam was in Ukraine. We had events in Kiev. It was my first one in 2013. I was a volunteer. And then, my journey with DevGam started from volunteer. Then they poached me as a PR manager, program producer, CEO, and now this winter I was appointed CEO of the company. So I'm fresh off.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very fresh with this role, but though it's already my third event this year as CEO, and it's going great. So yeah, I'm a gamer. I love games. I think you should be when you're going to do something in our industry. So yeah, my favorite games. I know that you asked that, people. So my favorite games are Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. I'm a big Horizon girly. I play mostly on PlayStation. So, but the recent titles, like on a smaller scale, not just, AAA, I would say Stray. I love cats, so
Mm.
Stray was a good one. But I started, I think, like with the adventure and narrative games. My favorites are Firewatch and Life is Strange. I've
Oh,
played I've played it both of them. I played twice, and the Life is Strange. The next parts are not so much, but the first one, I think it got me. So, and Firewatch as well is a lovely story. But yeah, that's just a bit about me.
so you like some emotional stories then? Certainly with Firewatch and Life is Strange. I haven't cried many times in games, but those two games certainly really got me. Really made me, certainly cry in Life is Strange several times and Firewatch.
Yeah.
These games, but fantastic examples. And they're making a new Life is Strange game as well. It's coming out very, very soon. I think it's the 29th of October. That is
Mhm.
a direct sequel to Life is Strange 1, where you play as Max again. So looking forward to that. And Horizon, of course, I've heard about them. I've seen trailers. I've never played them, but these are your favorite games of all time.
This like I bought my PlayStation together with Horizon, so it was a package, and I didn't know anything about the game. I didn't expect much, but it wasn't my first PlayStation game, though I played some several that I wanted to. But then I have this disc already. I need to play it. I started and I spent 100 hours in it, and I
Wow.
finished. Yeah, I finished it. I got platinum. I finished it all, and I did all the side quests, all the smallest one, and it's like it can be finished in less than 100 hours. But I just enjoyed the world so much. So, like when the second one came out, I was pre-order, saving some time to just spend in the game. I loved it as much as the first one, but yeah, Horizon is actually, I don't know what gets me. It's the story. It's the animals. It's those mechanic animals that you need
Mm.
to find a way to, to kill in some different ways. It's a new game design ideas, and oh, I love it. So the story and the game design there, it's like it gets me.
Well, I really should try and play that game myself.
You
It's
should.
because I've heard few people say, that they really enjoy it as well. So it sounds like a game that I would really enjoy as well. And then Stray, and did you press the meow button on Stray?
Yes.
Did you get the achievement?
No, I didn't,
Oh,
I did I did a lot, with cats. Sometimes I was just stuck, doing like cat stuff and not going into the story.
yeah,
But
there were some of the best parts I thought, where just the controls as a cat, it really felt like you were an actual cat in the game, and the way it
yeah.
jumped and everything, and the way you could just knock stuff over like a real cat. I mean, my grandmother's cat, yeah, it just knocks pictures down and flower pots.
Yeah, it's
um,
like scratching and stuff. So yeah, it's a lovely interactive experience. I wouldn't say like I didn't get it from the first time, but then I was like, oh, now I get it when you do that cat stuff. And no, yeah, it's a lovely game
yeah,
again.
I should replay that myself too. To see. Well, thank you for that. And now you mentioned as well that with DevGamm that you've recently just become CEO, but you have been involved quite a bit with DevGamm, starting off as you mentioned in Kyiv in Ukraine, and now in Lisbon. And you say this is your third event that you're organizing
Third event this year.
this year. This year, sorry, yeah, no,
Just
it's
this
important.
year.
Just this year.
Because overall I think it's been over 40 events for me. I think generally it's like
Wow.
around 40 events. It's considering online that we did during pandemic times, and we also did a lot. But yeah, I've been with DevGam for so many years, and the event itself, it started in Eastern Europe. It started in Ukraine. We also did events in Belarus and Russia, but after the war started, as you can imagine,
Mm.
like the because we're a Ukrainian team mostly, it was very hard for us, losing also everything that we built due to the war in all of the locations that we were doing it. So in 2022, we decided to move our operations to Europe. We did events in Lithuania, then moved a little bit to Poland as well, doing events in Gdańsk. And next, our experiment was in Lisbon last year. So our first edition was last year. And now we do 3 shows per year. And yeah, this year, Lisbon is our end of the year event, our second edition in Portugal. And yeah, it's going to be lovely, but we're still small in Europe compared to so many events, but it's just us starting out. It's our third year, so we're having a good start. And in Lisbon last year we had 600 people. It's a very good like first
Wow, that's
edition.
good.
Yeah, and for this year we expect even more. And we're also expanding in terms of what we do at the event. So DevGam is a just explaining, DevGam is a business to business conference. We don't have anything for consumers, but we have everything going around game developers and their games. So that's our focus, that's our core audience, game developers. And then, the industry in general, because we have all of the parts, but we're covering mostly the business side. Though we do have a lot of games being present at DevGam, but for different reason compared for Gamescom as a B2C show, where they show games to players, we show games to publishers, to investors, to services, to tools, to engines, like so they can see what's new in the market, new ideas, and everything like that. So that's the core of DevGam. Also having talks to share trends, to share new cases, new problem solution talks. Yeah, there are a lot of stuff going on within DevGam to help developers, to do their games and to make their games better. Yeah.
Yeah, no, sounds fantastic. And I think it's a good sign that you're going back to Portugal, to Lisbon. It's the second time there. So obviously last year went well. And, I think it's like, and, it might. my belief is that it will kind of grow and grow from what I've seen, that it seems to be going very well. And now, anybody who listens to this podcast knows that I'm a fan of games conferences, that I love going to them. I love going, of course, to Adventure X and Reboot in Dubrovnik. And this sounds kind of similar with you mentioned the B2B, and there seems to be like a lovely vibe in these conferences. And you mentioned there are a number of things which we'll talk about now. There are speakers and games, and then the DevGamm Awards, which we'll talk about as well. First of all, to the speakers, because there's some pretty good speakers this year that I think people will be excited to hear. So, well, would you like to reveal who some of the speakers will be this year in DevGamm in Lisbon?
Yes, of course. So we have John Romero, the
Mm,
creator of Doom, to be our keynote. So he's going to be talking about the game. He's also going to be hosting together with us a small meet and greet where you can get his autograph,
oh,
get his
fantastic.
book, everything. So, and also because our show, the how the show is built, it's not like he's, a star going off stage and not talking to anyone and you cannot get him, because this is a B2B show where everyone is based in one hotel. You can talk to all of the speakers, talk to Joe Romero directly, just come up to him, and if you have the courage, of course. But I think in the gaming industry, everyone is so open and everyone is so willing to share. So it doesn't matter who you are to do that. But yeah, besides John, we had guys from Insomniac, from King, from Guerrilla Games, of course. I think like because so much of a fan of Horizon, every time we have someone from Guerrilla Games talking, so it's just a girl living her dream. Yeah, listening about her
Why not?
favorite game. Yeah, but since there is also guys from Massive Monster, but there are some mobile games companies as well. So our event, I wouldn't say it's all PC and console. There is also a mobile side, or like guys from King are coming, from Rovio. So you will expect a lot of diverse voices, I would say, in terms of topics like game design, art, production, investment, business. There are also workshops that we do where you can sign up and do a hands-on. For example, we have a narrative workshop where you can work together with the speaker and create something together, see how the words work in the game and narration. So there are a lot of stuff, and since there are 50, I think 60 plus speakers this year, so you can find almost any topic if you're from different backgrounds in the gaming industry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fantastic. I mean, there's, I think, something for everyone, but definitely John Romero, I think, who's based in Galway in Ireland. I have never
Yeah.
met him, but hopefully this year, if I have the courage to go up and talk to him, because he's, yeah, obviously a huge, huge inspiration to a lot of, and his game Doom certainly changed the games industry
Yeah.
forever. So he's a fantastic. But it just apart from him as well, there are, as I mentioned to you before recording, a Jorg Tittel who I met at Reboot. He's a lovely guy as well, and he's very, very funny. His talks are very, very good. That I've seen at Reboot, and a very nice guy as well, but also not afraid to speak his opinion, which I think is great, and a very
Um,
diverse lineup.
and the thing about him is he's doing this time our public pitch. So he's a host. So you will see him
Oh,
in a bit of a different role. So he's going to be hosting public pitch where developers pitch their games. They have 5 minutes, and they have also judges from like publishing side, and they give feedback. And George would be the one, hosting it. So
oh,
it's
fantastic! Because seems similar to in Reboot. They have something similar, I think. But again, you couldn't. I don't think you could find anyone better than Jorik. He's a very, very good speaker and a very approachable, very nice guy as well.
yeah.
From my experience, and yeah, I will include links, of course, to the website where people can go through the list of speakers and the games here as well. But it's great to hear as well that as well. Now you mentioned on your page that I saw that there is one person who you'd love to be speaker. I think it's certainly possible in the future, if not this year. But you mentioned that on the website that you'd love Hideo Kojima to attend sometime. The-
Yeah, because I've been a program producer for so long, so I've been dealing with speakers. That was my main role before I got to C-level position. I'm like my goal was always to reach Hideo and get him to DevGamm for some reason. We had almost had him at our event in Moscow because he was like, I think he came to Russia once before, before war and everything. But it's still that you have to have a dream. You have to have that something to reach to because he's an amazing speaker. Though he speaks in Japanese, you have to have a translator. It's a whole deal. But I think having him at DevGam would be like, oh yeah, okay, we're finished. We don't need to do any more shows. We're like, this is the top. I'm joking. Of course, we will do more. And there are a lot of great minds in the industry that we would love to have and host at DevGams in the future. But for me, it would be like a check, like a check of a top list of what to have at DevGam.
well, I believe it's certainly possible. So you already got John Romero, so, and then plenty others here. So who knows in the future?
We're so
Um,
close.
but yeah, with some fantastic speakers here as well in the games industry. And I loved how you're saying it's interactive, that they're not just going to talk and then go, bye bye, going to get in my limousine and my private helicopter. I'm going to, go back to my home. No, they're going to stay. They're going to talk to developers and people in the games industry as well. So that generally sounds fantastic. And I actually wanted to ask you, I meant to ask you before we go on as well, because I've spoken to some organizers of events, like at a Reboot Damir and then Amy and Tom of Adventure X. And one thing that they all have in common, they say that it is a lot of hard work, even organizing one conference. That it is, and one thing that they have in common is lack of sleep, in particular during the conferences. But this is your third one this year. I mean, that's already a huge achievement, and you're still doing it. So how do you manage to do that? What advice could you give to anybody else who would like to organize events, and how do you remain in good form, in good humor, awake?
How I'm awake, coffee works. It still works. It's a good sign. But yeah, it's our third one. We're still, since I mentioned, we're still having small shows compared to what we had. Like in Ukraine, we had shows over 1,000. We had like shows up to 2,000 people, and we also did it twice a year, at least twice a year. So we're kind of used, and our processes in the team are built the way so we can work at the several events at the same time. So, and also having a great team, I would say that like the processes and having a great team are two crucial things. We have now 13 people on the team. It's a big team,
Mm,
relatively, because so many other events, especially if they happen once a year, they have smaller teams. But we have 13 people. They're all amazing. They know their job very well, and that's the secret, I would say. We also have crunch time sometimes closer to the event, but we do strongly believe in work-life balance, and that's we try to maintain that within the team, have like holiday time, make people have holidays. Sometimes it's a tricky one. People like love what they do, and that's also the secret. But also, having notification turned off, having the proper weekend, because rest is what
mhm.
helps you, to maintain that productivity level for the three events in the row. I think, yeah, there is no big, wow moment or secret that I can share. It's just we are doing. It's a marathon, as they say. It's not a speed run. It's a
Mm.
marathon. So you do it slowly but gradually and coming to the event. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you mentioned a few things there. First of all, a great team, that all of you were passionate about this and love it, but also equally important, as you mentioned, is rest. And I think that is very important for people, especially in a job like yours, that of course, as you say, closer to the time, there will be crunch. But to keep enjoying it, I'm sure you'd want to just rest as well, go on holidays and try and turn off, notifications a bit as well, and to have the energy to go back and do it again. And I can just tell by, well, first of all, speaking to Christina and then speaking to yourself that you really love what you do. But yeah, no, I think there's some really good pieces of advice there for anybody else organizing events like that. So thank you for that. So yeah, so we had some of the speakers, and you mentioned it's a B2B event, but there are some games that will be showcased as well. Are you able to talk about any of the games or is it still a bit early? I don't know if we,
I would
or if you
say
want to talk about previous conferences, if you prefer.
no, we do have like games are, as I mentioned at the beginning, games are a big part of the conference. So usually every event we have game contest, we have big game showcase, we have public pitch, several other activities to help developers. But every event we open submissions, and it's like we don't know what kind of games we will get. This year we already hosted two contests. Like there was an awards during Polish event, there was awards during Lithuanian events, and now we're coming next week. Actually, we're going to be announcing. So this podcast, I don't know if it goes like this week or next week, but after like at the beginning of November, we're going to be announcing our nominees. And so you will know what the games are going to be at DevGamm. Though it's not a big secret that we're trying to keep, because if you go to our awards page, you will see like a lot of submitted games that we have. There's like that are listed, and I actually urge you to do that, because when the judges are doing the contest, when they're picking, the best game in different categories, there is a community vote. And you can choose the game that you like and vote for it. I don't know if you're in that community, or maybe you want to just support the title that you like, but yeah, all the information about the games is open. You can check the trailer, you can check the screenshots, even if the game was not released, since we do have both released games and unreleased games present. But also, I would say, like from my perspective, I would mention some of the games that were submitted and generally talk about what kind of games we get. But I also don't think it's fair to for me to say, oh, this is like my favorite game or submitted, because there's so many. We got
Mm,
like 580 submissions or 60. I like there is a huge number, over 500 games this year. And we're trying with DevGamm, we're trying to help every game, in any way possible, even if they're not nominated. So me picking favorites, it's not fair. It's
sure,
not
the
fair.
CEO saying, "Oh, I like this game, Horizon."
Yeah, Horizon. Horizon can be a favorite. They're not in that competition, because the games that we get are usually made with teams under 50 people. So you have to have a playable build, but also have to be under 50 people, because the cash prize that we have at the end, and it's actual money, no like no publishing deal or something, some credits. No, it's actual money. It can help smaller team rather than Horizon. So that's why the games that we have are more on the indie or double A spectrum, I would say. And yeah, speaking about games, actually, like I did some research before preparing for this podcast, specifically because they're like adventure games podcasts, and we actually have a lot of them. We actually
Mm,
have one game called Adventurers. I was just like
okay.
laughing at it, because it's a
Sounds
mobile game though,
perfect.
but I was like, oh, that's a perfect match. you know, Adventurers. So it's definitely an adventure game. Uh,
Yeah, no, I saw, so I'm just checking myself now. I was checking in alphabetical order, as you mentioned, there's over 500, but just some of the adventure and narrative games that I saw that were for the competition. There's 3 Minutes to Midnight, which was released earlier this year. Then there's another one, A Tug's Ascension, which I hadn't heard. There is Arctic Awakening, and I interviewed the developer and I played a demo of his game. Now, again, I don't know if these games will be at the I have no influence. Just wanted to say this. Just the games that have that appealed to me as an adventure game fan, and Clem as well, which and many others. There are so many others that people can check on the website, and I'll see if I can do a list as well. And it's great that you have a focus on indie games as well, and that you're really going to help them out, and this time with a cash prize because and I just saw as well in previously there were previous winners that I saw, and again there were adventure games that from what I saw on the website in 2022, the best indie game was Lost in Play. And in
Mm.
2021, Excellence in Audio was won by Chicken Police Painted Red.
Oh
And
yeah,
then in
chicken
20,
place.
yes, I haven't played it myself. I really, really want to. And then Game Deck won Best Indie Game in 2020 as well. So there are some adventure and narrative games. Now, I should say that they're not just adventure games. This isn't Adventure X. This is, so many different genres of games. Now, you mentioned as well some prizes. Are you able to say in more detail what some of the prizes might be? And again, there is a website which will show, but for people listening or watching, well, what can you tell us about what some of the prizes could
Yeah,
be?
so our general, so like our prizes are money. So we have
Which is
like
what they
one,
need.
which is what they need. It's generally it's a 100K cash prize pool. So it's a very big one, but it's not like you get like with one game 100K. There are different nomination in the main category. You would get like 25 as a grand prize winner. So, the stakes are high. That's why we have up to 90 judges doing like different rounds. So it's fair. And also judges' backgrounds are from different side of the industry. So we have like a lot of perspectives. But there are also like 10,000 prizes for excellence in game design, excellence in visual art, in audio, and narrative. And also we have best game from Portugal this year, since we're doing this in Portugal, and we think it would be fair to have a separate price, for the local community. Since our event, of course, it's international, we have a lot of different guests coming from all over, but all of our events are based off the local community and trying to help it. So doing specifically for Portugal, doing the Portuguese award and highlighting them in a different way. Yeah, it's very important for us. And we're working closely together with local judges, local communities, like development communities like Game Dev Lisbon or association like a PvP to help like create this award and shine light on the Portuguese devs as well. So it's an important part for us.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Again, lovely balance there. Of course, you have international community people from all over based on the games and the judges and speakers such as that I've seen on the website. But it is nice as well to recognize the local community, as you mentioned, to the best Portuguese game, to give them a shout out as well. As well. So yes, so plenty of games of all different genres. And certainly, for me and probably people listening or watching this, there are adventure and narrative driven games and puzzle games. There's puzzle platformers that I saw as well. So now you mentioned the judges, and again, this is all public. But for people listening or watching, are you able to let us know some of who the judges are? Because there's a couple that are well known as well. That
Yeah,
um,
there are judges, like as I mentioned, there are judges from like from all over the industry, from the studios that from both indie perspective, like we got Rami Ismail as a
mm,
judge, but yeah, we also got guys from like 11-bit studio, Bossa Studios, the ones who also done like indie to double A games, who know like big on working on bigger title. There is also like wargaming, meta. There is I PUBG, the guys from PUBG as well. I don't know, Tiny Build. I'm looking at the website. I'm actually helping myself here, but because I cannot like remember. I remember our
of
speakers, but remembering all of the judges because we have 90 of them. But there is Fun Plus, there is Raw Fury. So you will see there is JC Game World, the Stalkers developer. So there are, like as I mentioned, so many different backgrounds, both mobile, PC, console, bigger, smaller platforms. So you will see. So this is, as I mentioned, a diverse vision, and people can look at the games from different perspective, and maybe get like someone is more into audio, someone more on the narrative side. So we do have professionals looking at the games and evaluating them in every category.
Yeah, and again, it's a very nice diverse list as well from what I can see that, and I say this as a white guy, it's not just white guys there. There's people from all over, men and women as well, and which is great to see. And Rami Ismail, as I haven't met him myself yet, but he has been at Reboot as well,
Yeah.
and
Oh, Remy
well
is nice.
known person in the games industry as well. So yeah, some fantastic people as well who are heavily involved there. And now the schedule will also be online, which is great. So again, there are these pitches that people can go to and these events, and people can mingle around as well. Is there is there for probably the most important question for people, is there a party or something at the end? Or is there
There
or
is.
social activities that people can do as well if they decide to come?
Yeah, we focus heavily on networking and not just, networking, saying this for business perspective, just connecting people.
Mm.
So, of course, we have a main party on 14th. So it's for everyone. It's open, so you can come. It will happen at the hotel. We're hosting some dinners and receptions, mostly targeted at VIP audience, because we have VIP tickets as well. But we're also working on creating different formats based off what we have. So we booked the whole hotel. So the hotel
Wow.
together with the rooms. We had to, it's a Portuguese thing. For some reason, they're not allowing you to have just the expo. You need to book the hotels with the rooms. So the rooms will be filled with the conference people, and that's all. You can only book the hotel through our website. And that creates a specific atmosphere where you can go to breakfast and you will see people from the gaming industry. And we're like, oh, why not create a small opportunity to not take over their breakfast, but create something for them to have that icebreaker. So we have this thing called chat and breakfast, where we reserve 3 tables. We put on some topics like, say, business, work-life balance, or something like that, and they can pick a topic they like and just talk, just chat, have a breakfast and chat. But if they want to sit somewhere in the corner alone, we don't mind it. There's
Might be a
also
long night before.
yeah, because we understand there is a long day, and we don't make people to be involved in that. You just, like, if you want to, you can do that. Also, we're doing for the first time speed networking session for everyone at the conference. So you just sign up, and then you will randomly meet people from the event. It happens on the first day, in the first part of the day, and it allows you, to have someone new, some new face to
Mm.
connect to. If you're imagine you're the first time at the event, or this is a new event, new location, something you might not know that many people. This speed networking allows you, to build that connections, to maybe get introduced to someone you would never be introduced to. So we're playing with that format as well. During lunch, we have roundtable formats. It's specifically reserved for business people, where you get, one topic, a leader, like saying, hey, investment in gaming, and people can discuss that and share their insights. There is no media present, no cameras, so it allows, sharing that information that you would go and share at some party at the bar, but this is a specific environment for it. But yeah, parties, dinners, networking, sunset drinks, all
Oh,
that kind of stuff.
fantastic.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff to help you relax, but also do business and connect to people. Yeah.
Again, something for everyone. And I love how it's organized as well. That is really there to help you. Because yes, I will be that person coming on my own, not really knowing, most people there. So I think I'll be availing of the net speed networking thing, if possible. But and if you want to rest, you can go back up to your room. It'll be in the hotel. So that's that's well, hopefully that'll be a nice bonus as well. And I love the topics in the morning as well. That that people are standing a bit awkwardly like, oh, here's a topic.
Yeah, you
So
can pick any and decide, like, oh, you want to have several of them. We also have this, I forgot to mention, for developers specifically, we have the activity called Engage, where you will meet publishers and investors. So you just can come, there will be publishers there standing, waiting for you, and you will be able to talk to them, to connect with them. So I think as I said, we're not only trying to build these networks and business-wise and for everyone, but also for specific groups if we can too. That's why public pitch, that's why engage. Yeah, there are a lot of different opportunities, and we love playing with formats. It's what we
Yeah,
do.
it's
This summer in Vilnius, we did events outside and inside, so combining conference and summer festival. We're doing it differently in every location, so that's having fun with it helps.
very creative. And how can people get for this networking thing or this engage? Will it be on the website and how people can get involved with with these opportunities?
It will be on the website, but it's mostly targeted at those who are
Oh, who are
already on
attending?
site. Yes,
Okay,
because
yeah.
speed networking, you don't need to, you don't need to sign up beforehand. You need just come, and it's first come, first serve. It's
Okay.
not will not be, a matchup where we decide, oh, this site will be this kind of people, and this site will be no, it will be totally random. That's the fun of it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why first come, first serve, and yeah, that's how we're building it. You just need to come to a specific room, but when you enter the hotel, you will see all the notification. You don't need not even need to check your email because people do not do that. We're sending a lot of them, but people do not check them. So we're printing, all the information about the activities at the event. So you can still, see and decide and come and yeah, everything what happens. But it will be on the website, newsletter, and in printed form.
No, sounds fantastic. And then the party will be the 14th,
Yes, the
I imagine,
14th, between the first and the
the
second
second
day.
day. So there might be a few people on the second day that might, in the morning, they might need a topic, but
Uh, we actually we are aware of that happening, and that's why the second day starts a little bit later.
oh,
So our first talk starts at 11. There's also a golf masterclass for VIP tickets at the same time as well. So it's since golf is a unique thing that they have at Qashqai and at that hotel specifically, the golf course next to it, we're taking advantage of that as well. Imagine like having golf at the conference.
yeah, no, that's you have everything planned ahead. It's really seems to be really, really well planned ahead. No, it's fantastic. Yeah, so I mean, I can't wait because we've spoken about the awards in the previous minute. Now, how do people? So again, it's all on the website. They just need to submit their games, even not just for this year, but for future years as well. With hopefully, I'm sure DevGamm seems to be going well, but people can just go online and they can submit their games if they want to be speakers or if they want to get involved. So how would they do that then? How would they go about if they wanted to get involved in any way, either with their games or as speakers or maybe as a judge or
Mhm. So, if you want to be, I will start with speakers because it's an easy one. We always have live our website devgamm.com. It lists all of our activities or next events, and there is a form where you can apply for future events as a speaker for future events. So, if you have an idea, even it's not specifically talk or even an idea or just wanting to connect to us, you can fill in the form, and yeah, we will be in touch with you. For game developers, this year the submissions already finished since, as I mentioned, we're
Mhm.
already at that judging phase. But in November, when DevGamm in Lisbon finishes, we're going to be announcing DevGamm in Poland, our Gdańsk event that happens in February. And we will also be opening submissions for game developers. Just right after Lisbon. So you also go to our website. It's either devgamm.com or devgamm Gdańsk, and yeah, you will see a form there. The applications are always free, so you don't need to pay any fee. You don't need even to have a ticket for the conference. So if you're submitted, if you're accepted to any of the activities, then you can buy a ticket. So we're providing free tickets only to the nominees of the award ceremony. If you're a showcaser or you're doing public pitch, then you have to buy a ticket. But other than that, there is no extra charge, and yeah, everything is free for the submissions. And as I mentioned, even if your games were not selected, we're still sharing them with publishers, still trying to help you with some promotions, doing maybe some online activities like doing public pitch online as well for the games that didn't get a chance to do that. So trying to get like to get help to developers in any way we can. Yeah, get help
Yeah.
sounds so, get help, but
I'm sure some people
I don't.
might feel
Sorry,
that
I'm
way. No, it's
Eastern. I'm Eastern European. My English might not be
no,
like the best, so.
it is genuinely, it is fantastic. I think you're expressing yourself better than me in most cases. So,
Oh,
um,
thank you.
no, but it's fantastic that this is geared towards developers and indie developers as well. That even if you're not selected, that you still do your best to help them, because as we know, it's a tough industry, especially the last couple of years, in particular for game developers and studios. So I think it's great that you were really focused on trying to help as many developers as you can. And it's, yeah, no, it's one of the reasons why I want to be involved as well, that, try and help developers as well as best as we can. So no, that is great. And did I read that there's a Steam event at the same time? Is that correct?
Yes, we usually host in Steam event. For events like ours, for B2B, it's a bit tricky to get, to being featured, to get to the main Steam page. So what we got this year already in Gdańsk, for example, we did a showcase that was directed only on the countries across the Baltic Sea. So the Steam showcase was on the main page of Steam, but in Poland, in all of the Baltic countries, in Scandinavia, and like everything across the Baltic Sea. And now we're like for this year, for not this year for Lisbon. Sorry, it's like events years. I'm already in the next year. Yeah, for Lisbon, we're also doing this promotion and this team event. Probably, hopefully, it's not like 100% confirmed, but it probably going to be featured in Portugal, Spain, and Brazil, since this is the regions that we get most of the games of, and that's we're working like heavily
Mm.
with. And it's very nice because we get it will be international games introduced to that audience. So what we're trying to do to work, yeah, with different locations, different games, and Steam, they have support for events like ours, though it's not, as big as Tokyo Game Show or Gamescom because they're B2C and it's fair. But I do like how they support local communities in that sense. Yeah, so we're doing it this year as well.
Yeah, fantastic. And now there is one part that we haven't spoken with. Now, first of all, as I'm sure people, if you're listening to this, you probably heard in the intro that Maria and the organizers very kindly have agreed to give tickets to listeners to this podcast, or if you're watching the interview on YouTube, that there is a raffle. But because this is about adventure games, we have to solve a puzzle. Very, very, very easy. So you'd have to answer this one question. Send it to info@adventuregamespodcast.com. And there are two tickets that people can win. I have a feeling it might be snapped up. I'm certainly if I was a game developer or anyone, I would want this chance. And the question is, now I probably will ask this in the intro, but here it is again. We're watching on YouTube. In which hotel will DevGamm Lisbon take place in 2024? So in which hotel? You don't need to worry about pronouncing it or country or city, just the hotel. You can send it to info@adventuregamespodcast.com. And the first two, so it's the first two emails that I get with the correct answer, I will then send you the code to get the free tickets. And you were saying, Maria, that's well, what can you tell us that includes? You were telling me before recording, but what would these two tickets include for people who would win it?
Yeah, so here we're raffling session tickets, and I was, taking a mental note not to mention the name of the hotel during during my speech. But yeah, session tickets, you will have the access to all of the talks, to all of the networking opportunities like speed networking, main party. You will be part of. You can check out all of the games at the showcase, all sponsors at our expo zone. You will also have as a Q&A zone for speakers. So mostly if you're interested, to talking to John Romero or to someone else, there will be a specific Q&A zone. So you can go out around the event and talk to people and connect and network and everything like that. So it's the session tickets are excluding, meet to match and business opportunities because we don't know like who will be involved. But for
Exactly.
developers, that would enough. I think that would be enough to enjoy the show, and to take advantage of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So now about this hotel. Now I don't know if you wanted to mention it or not, because it looks fantastic. The whole location this year. What can you tell us about the hotel? I know you mentioned as well that you people could book this hotel if they wished,
Mhm.
as well. And what can you tell us about its location and about where it is situated in Portugal this year? And why you chose this hotel? What are the benefits of hosting the conference at this hotel?
Yeah, so on November 14, 15, we're going to be in Cascais. It's Lisbon area. It's next to Lisbon, though we call it DevGamm Lisbon. It's not based in Lisbon itself because people like DevGamm Cascais. But Cascais is a lovely small town on the ocean side. And it's the hotel that we're hosting. It's next to the ocean. There is golf courses, there is greenery. You can see the ocean from there. It's a lovely family-owned hotel. It's a 5-star, so imagine the rooms and everything is fancy, but
Mm,
still their expo area, it feels open and very like cozy for us because you go there and like it doesn't feel like too fancy, for the game development scene. So whoever you are, you will feel comfortable there. It's like from our team perspective. But this is the best location out of all three that we do our events in because we do an expo hall, we did a startup hub, and now we're doing a fancy hotel. But we feel like in Portugal, you have to have that. You have to have
mm,
a nice view. You have to have the ocean. You have to have that, the scene, the nature, everything that Portugal has to
mm,
offer. That's why we chose it. And though it's a bit of an expensive site, but there is a lot of different options. If you're a game developer, if you're joining and coming to Qashqai, since it's off season, there are like very cheap hostels or cheap hotels, even like 3 stars, 4-star next to us. It's a whole area for holidays and vacations. And November is actually surfing season in Portugal. So if you're a fan or
yeah.
someone who wants to do that or try that out, yeah, there is an option for that as well.
No,
Um,
fantastic. Yeah, and I believe there's a spa there as well that and I
yeah.
believe I read on their website that National Geographic had something or recommended. So I that's what I can't wait to go, as well as the games, of course, but the spa there as well. I'm looking forward to that. But no, it's absolutely fantastic. So that is DevGamm Lisbon 2024, November 14th, 15th. And if you're listening to this or watching this after November 14th, 15th, you mentioned that there are other events, that there's an event in Gdansk as well happening. And what can you tell us about the future of DevGamm? But well, do you know if you'll be returning to Lisbon next year? Do you have any plans that you can talk about? I know it's still very early. 2024 hasn't happened yet, so the event 24 hasn't happened yet. But what can you tell us about the future of the DevGamm conference?
Yeah, as event organizers, we're planners, so we're usually planning for 2025 as well. As I mentioned, we already have Gdańsk in plans. We haven't announced it yet. We announced it next month, but yeah, it's gonna happen in February in Poland. And yeah, we're not sure. Like the rest of the year is still being decided on about the dates, the months, and the locations. But I would say like 98% that we're 99, I would say, coming back to Portugal if nothing happens because we love it there, but it's our second show. So we need to host it to see what happens, see if people enjoy it, if it's useful, if it's serves its purpose, for Portugal community and for international community, and then decide when we come back, hopefully in November because it's a lovely month. But also we are trying to build DevGam not as a rotating show, so changing places every year, every time. We actually want to build on what we're having, so connect with the community, with the local companies, with people coming back to Lisbon and remembering, oh, every November I should be at DevGam in Lisbon and make it a place to be, or every February I have to be in Gdańsk. Though the weather in Gdańsk in Baltics is not the same as November in Lisbon, but you still have to be there. Like seeing winter Baltic Sea, it's
Mm,
a checklist. It's a check mark.
yes, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, but we're trying to invest in the in doing the events in the same place. You might see DevGamm at some other places as well because we're experimenting. Though I think Poland and Portugal are set in stone, yeah, for next year at least. Yeah.
Yeah, two beautiful countries as well. I'm beginning with P, so
Yes, we have a pattern here, also beginning with P.
no, fantastic. Well, look at it. I mean, I've been to Adventure X in London in November, and it's quite different, I imagine, to Portugal in November.
It is.
But yeah, no, this looks absolutely fantastic. So again, get to send it info at adventuregamespodcast.com. Which hotel? I think you're going to say hotel, but which hotel is this taking part in? And the first two people, it's first come, first served that answer it correctly will get it. So, yeah, so I mean, I think you've answered all the questions. This is not the last that you will hear about this conference on this podcast because I, again, hope to go. I'm to go barring anything horrible last minute happening that I can't go. But I'm looking forward to going myself, and I will be talking about it on the podcast, and I will try and do at least a feature on the adventure and narrative games there. I'm trying to do some video, try to do some interviews with developers. So if you are going, if you are a developer, if you are going to DevGamm Lisbon, and I hope people who are listening, some people are, then feel free to get in touch. You'll see me with my Adventure Games podcast jumper and t-shirt as well, so it'll be easy to spot. But I'll be looking forward to speaking to people there. Is there anything else that you would like to mention that we haven't covered today? I know you've already spoken a lot, and I don't want to keep you too long because I'm sure you're still very busy preparing this. But is there anything else that you would like to mention for people listening or watching, either about the event or anything at all that you would like
Yeah, I
to
would say
mention?
first, we would be happy to have you at the event,
Oh,
and yeah,
thank you.
and after the event is finished and we already announce our awards winners, not just nominees but winners. Hopefully, there are going to be some adventure and narrative games there. I don't know; it's still a mystery for everyone, but it would be nice to have them, to hear about them later on,
Mm,
being promoted, being mentioned at the podcast. But yeah, I want to come back to the games and the community vote that is still happening. So since a lot of the people who are listening to a podcast are gamers and they like different games, so I urge them to check out and maybe wishlist some of the games that are in the upcoming
yes.
and have and participate in the community vote and help out the developers that they care about, that they like. So there will be a prize for developer at the end who wins the community vote. So yeah, there is also a cash
The
prize at
community
the end.
vote.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
so we're trying. There is also a developer's choice that will happen at DevGamm, but the community vote is public. So let's see who has the most active and strong community, or maybe just people just like that game. Maybe some of your adventure podcast listeners are like, well, gonna be involved.
Yeah, look, if there, we always say that adventure games are very niche and all. Well, here's how people can promote these games as well. That you can check through the list of games and you can vote as well. And yeah, so well, look, it's sounds fantastic. This is just the beginning. I will be talking more about this over the next few weeks and months as well because it sounds absolutely fantastic. But thank you so much, Maria, for joining me on the podcast, and I look forward to meeting you, well, in person and the team in DevGam. And I hope you'll be okay. I hope you'll be awake. I'll try not to bother you because I imagine you'll be busy, you and the team. But
No,
um,
we're gonna be I'm really looking forward to meeting you as well. We're gonna be just fine, I believe. So you will see us smiling. The biggest part of the event, I would say, is like it's our team making it happen and
mm,
putting the soul, and all the friendliness and all the smiles and all the energy into it. And I hopefully you will feel it
mm,
because we're trying to do our best. But we also have this thing called event high where during the event you have this like, oh, this adrenaline running. You're so happy people when you see smiling faces and people are doing some stuff and enjoying everything that you created. So I think you will within our team and talking to our team, you will feel that.
yeah, no, definitely. And because as we mentioned, it's a tough time for a lot of people. well, just around the world and just in the games industry as well. And so it is nice to have, and certainly from you and Christina, you both seem like very positive, happy people that I think we can feel now from listening and watching you. So I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys in person. And yeah, no, it looks absolutely fantastic. So I will be speaking more about this event over time. But yeah, now again, the links will be in the show notes and in the description. But where can people find out more about this event if they're interested?
Yeah, so just go to devgamm.com, but we're also on all social media. So there is a Discord channel or X or Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. So depending on where you are, though we don't have TikTok, active TikTok just yet.
Me
But
neither.
other than that, you can hear about us at podcast. Yeah,
Yes.
but basically, yeah, devgamm.com, and then you will find our next show from there. It's the easiest way. And yeah, devgamm.com/awards for anything awards related and for community vote and contests. So yeah,
Oh,
DevGamm.
fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Maria. It's lovely speaking to you and look forward to seeing you again and the team on in person and going to the event and hopefully in future as well because it looks like it'll be an absolutely fantastic event. And well, look, I wish you the very best of luck
Thank
from
you.
now and until the event. You know, choosing the games and all the work that goes into it as well.
It's like
Um,
3 weeks. There is three
yeah,
weeks left. There's
it's
so much to do.
oh, I can't believe it already. It's
Crazy.
but thank you so much for taking time busy schedule to chat to me, and I look forward to meeting you guys and talking more about this as well. So, the very best of luck, and we will see each other very soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. Looking forward to meeting you. And yeah, thank you for having me. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.